Recording in progress.
How you doing?
Coach, there's been a pretty big disparity in points in the paint. The closest game you had there was the game that the Pelicans won. How big of an emphasis is that for you tonight, especially with the goal of getting JV going?
It's definitely huge for us going into this game, realizing that they've dominated in that area, especially last game. We just have to be better at being early in our shifts and forcing those guys to kick the ball out, and then multiple efforts from there. But it's a focus.
When you're in this mode of playing the same team over and over and making adjustments, have you learned anything about the process since you started? Have you had time to even think about that?
Most definitely. It's a cliche, but it's game by game. They'll do things that we'll see on tape that we need to adjust to. I'm sure we're doing some things that they see. And without losing the foundation of who you are as a team, you want to make some minor adjustments that we feel that can help. So I'm definitely learning a lot in that sense.
Turnovers, points off turnovers have been an issue in the last couple of games. What are some of the things you can do watching film, getting on the practice court to try to combat that?
Just our spacing, more importantly. I think sometimes we're getting the ball on the side a little too much, and they're using the sideline as an extra defender, and they're pretty aggressive when we're that close. We can be better with our spacing.
How was Brandon's Chris Paul impression today?
Excuse me?
I just saw Brandon was wearing like a number 3 Chris Paul penny when we walked in to shoot around. I was just saying, how was his?
I didn't see it
Oh, okay.
at all. Yeah.
With JV, what have you just thought about the quality of looks that he's got so far in this series?
I think he's getting quality looks, but as a group, we can do better at getting the ball to him and forcing the action a little bit down low. I think it'll help our paint production. The thing that we're still doing well is we're offensive rebounding, but we have to take advantage of those opportunities, and sometimes those are the kickouts for us.
Coach, when you look at Jackson Hayes, he had like 6 rebounds before he was taken out. How huge could he be tonight, the activity that he brings to the table?
He can be big for us, and he knows that. Just talking to our guys after that game, we can't afford to lose key players in moments like that, and Jackson understands that. But he's been good for us, especially in Game 2. He was having a pretty good start in Game 3, and he just has to continue to go out, play hard, compete, and just play the game, and we'll be fine.
Coach, after the first game you played against the Suns in November, Chris told us that in the past you two had conversations, and Chris would say, if I was coaching against myself, I would trap, and then you trapped him in that game. Just what's it been like to have this playoff chess match with someone like Chris where you two know each other so well and how you think the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool when you look back on it, but when you're in the moment, I'm sure we're all thinking about how to capitalize on Game 4. And with Chris, you just got to continue to try to show him different looks. He's seen everything, and there's some things we know he doesn't like, but he can still capitalize on if you're making mistakes and we're not in the right position. So we just got to show him different looks and be aggressive.
Yeah, you talked about adjusting to the intensity of playing in the playoffs, especially when you're going against the number 1 seed. How do you think your team has handled that throughout the course of the series, and how does that kind of establish a standard for what it has to look like beyond the season?
We're proud, extremely proud of how we've handled, all of these games down the stretch. A lot of them have been high-intensity moments for us, and then the playoffs, we took another step with that, and our guys are doing great. It's all of our first times doing it together, but we're going after it, and that's the key for us is stay together, go after it, put it on the line, and let it come out in the wash. And Game 4, no difference. We're prepared. We work on it. We watch our film. We had a really good shoot-around, and we're ready to get after it on the floor.
I was going to ask about the second chance points. Those have kind of gone down, even though I think offensive rebounds have been the same last couple of games. Is it as simple as just when you get those kickouts of being able to try to knock them down, or resetting things if it needs to get to that?
We're getting offensive rebounds, but when we get them, a lot of their guys are already in the paint trying to stop us. And so a lot of times we're looking to go up, but watching the tape, the next play is to kick it out. and then go from there. And now the dominoes fall. But, you know, we'll have possessions where you can go right back up. We'll have possessions where you need to look for a teammate. Thank you, guys.